You're listening to The Prop Shop, the #1 podcast for your shop. Brought to you by the UnitedPropBuilders, Coffee Powered Media, and Tucker Props. With your hosts Adam Hazy, Sean Toomey, and Ryan Tucker.
Hey Shop Rats! Welcome to The Prop Shop, the podcast that brings you the coolest tips and tricks for your costuming and replica prop needs. We're your hosts, Adam Hazy.
And Sean Toomey.
And guess what? It's good to be back.
Where did we go?
Well, you didn't go anywhere, dear listener and dear Shawno. I went somewhere. What happened is, I went to work one day. I came home and my laptop was dead.
Bum, bum, bum.
So, after having a minor freak out and some stress, I went down to a computer place and got a new laptop. And luckily, they were able to do a hard drive transfer, so I got all of my prop stuff and stuff like that back, which is good.
That's good.
Yeah, it is, because if I would have lost all that, that's a lot of stuff I would have to get back, and then I'd have to be like, hey, do you have this PEP file? Because I can't Google.
Yeah.
But that's a talking point for later on.
Yeah.
But, so Sean, what have you been up to? Any stress or big problems like that? Or hopefully you had a nice little happy, fun week?
Well, last week was my one tiny week of summer vacation from school. So
that's good.
Back in that. Also got a letter from the people from the convention that I went to addressing a few things. And got the quote-unquote official count of how many attendees were there.
Oh, nice. How many attendees did you have?
It was over 3,100.
Over 3,100?
Yes, that's...
3,100?
They're still counting, by the way.
That has an official count.
That's why I said quote-unquote. That's their official, what we're going to say. So, is over 3,100.
But they have sold tickets. Why can't they just be like, oh, we sold this many tickets?
Because some people didn't show up. Some people,
Well, still, it's like, we have a projected... So is there a projected count?
Right.
Okay. I'm probably not using that word correctly.
Yeah, it's pretty much like Yeah.
But
at the time of writing the letter, it was like, hey, this. So.
Okay, I got you.
So it was really an open... everybody received an open letter, basically, but whatever.
So, going along with conventions, I thought today one of the first things to talk about would be a nice little costume survival guide for when you're at the conventions.
That sounds interesting.
It is, because it's like a lot of people who haven't gone in costume before are like super excited. Yeah, I got my super awesome armor that's so cool and heavy and hot and sweaty. I can't wait to go for days and hours on end. And then not know what to expect.
Right.
Because the first con I went to was actually the Any Geek Expo was the first one I went to in costume. Which is, if you don't know about that, check out our podcast from last week when we talked to David Jackson, who's one of the leads of the Any Geek Expo. But, so that being my first costume, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just get dressed up and it'll be super cool and not have to worry about a thing. Yeah, that was a mistake.
How wrong were you?
Well, not terribly wrong, considering I had a ton of friends there, so it wasn't so bad, where it's like a huge convention where maybe 2-3 people if you're lucky. So, the first thing that happens, right, is I get there, and I can't get the lower half of my costume on, like the shins and the boots. So, luckily I was able to flag a couple of people down, and they were able to help me out with that. So, first suggestion I have is always bring a friend or handler, as they call them, to help you get in and out of your costume.
Yeah, that's important. That's pretty important.
Probably a good thing to have.
Yeah, it's very important, really.
And then later on, after I was in the convention, my shoulder strap broke to keep my shoulder pads on my ODST suit.
And Captain Patchett was nowhere to be found, was he?
Right, but luckily one of my friends, Mike, was there, and he had some duct tape, so that helped out.
That's nice.
Yeah, so we got that all taped up, and so that survived the rest of the trip. So bring duct tape, guys.
By the way, if you don't know who Captain Patchett is, look him up on Facebook. He's really cool. So he goes around to conventions in all over the place and like has an arsenal of needle and thread, hot glue gun, everything, and it goes around fixing people's costumes. It's cool.
So yeah, if you don't bring your own kit, at least bring some duct tape with you. It helped me out.
Yeah, bring a small survival guide, needle and thread.
If you have
glue,
cloth,
hot glue, yeah.
It depends
if you
on
have
your
the
costume.
ability to. Yeah, if you have the ability to.
Worst case scenario, just kind of keep it in your car, leave the convention if something breaks, and then like right outside the doors, plug it in and hook up.
Yeah.
But so the next thing that happened after that was, please install some fans in your helmets. There's not any in my ODST helmet, and let's just say for like 90% of the convention, my helmet was off because of that until it was picture time, because it was so hot in there.
Yeah, fans are important.
Yeah.
Also, recharge or being able to replace batteries on the fly is a good thing. Or have like a 12-hour battery or something like that if you can.
So
if
for those
exist.
of you who haven't heard your story, Sean, what happened to your fan?
My battery died. It was about 2 or 3 hours before we were gonna head back home from the convention. And
was this on day 3 of
this was on day 1?
Day 1, okay.
Day 1. And my battery died. I just had a 9-volt battery plugged into glued into my helmet and then on the fan. So I couldn't really change it and be happy with it.
Oh, you didn't go to like Radio Shack or anything and get like a battery pack or something?
Well, no, I couldn't find one I couldn't find like a little battery clip for a 9-volt I found the connector, but I couldn't find the thing to actually snap it into the helmet.
Gotcha.
So I just ended up hot gluing one on and pulling it out and replacing it and gluing it back. Yeah, anyways. But anyways, so that was the only thing keeping me, alive in the 98-degree high humidity Memphis weather. So where was I? So crap. So that was the only thing keeping me alive in the 90-degree high humidity weather. So when that happened, when the battery died, I took the helmet off and was holding it under my arm and everything like that, and messing up the paint job and everything. It makes me so mad that happened.
It's called battle damage.
Yeah, well, I didn't do a base coat of silver underneath the helmet, so it's just like purple, white, white,
gotcha.
like a light purple with a little bit of white under there, a small purple smudge, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was holding the helmet in one hand and then my blaster in the other, and holding my arms up for 3 hours.
Oh, geez.
Unless somebody wanted to take my picture. So it was like, oh, somebody take this from me. And like somebody was wanting to shake my hand at one point, and I'm like, I'm fumbling, can't do anything. Like I think I ended up putting my blaster, like holding my blaster with my teeth at one point.
Oh, geez.
So yeah. And by the way, rub and buff and clear coat, not the best thing to put in your mouth ever. So I think I put it in my mouth at one point. I can't remember.
That's possibly deadly.
Yeah. And so like trying to shake people's hands. And when I got home that day, I couldn't even lift my arms at all.
Wow.
I was unable to lift my arms for the longest time because I was in so much pain. And then I got home, found out my battery didn't die. The switch was actually just half pressed.
Oh, geez.
So I was so mad when I found that out. But I replaced the battery anyways. So
just in case, yeah.
Yeah.
So moral of that story basically is have fans that you can replace the battery for, and have switches, not buttons.
Yeah. Well, no, this was a switch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a switch, but it was in between. It was in between on and off.
So, and then the next thing is again, have a handler or a friend there with you because you're going to need water, and a lot of water.
Yes, you will.
Make sure, if the con allows it, bring water. If not, then have money to buy water.
Yeah.
Because I was
You'll
dying.
die. Yeah.
I was dying that day. Luckily, I had my wallet on me. I could get it out, but I couldn't get the money, per se, because I had those thicker gloves on. So I was like, hey, grab the $2 out of here and get me a water, please. And then I got the water. Then I had nowhere to put it. But luckily, this is where the inventing part got in. You know the ODST shins, right? How they have that knee piece attached to them?
Yeah.
So glad that was foam, because it was slightly flexible. So I used it as a cup holder. I just
That's awesome.
set it right there in my knee and just walked around, and then whenever I needed a drink, just grabbed it out of my knee cup holder and took a drink.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, I wish I could have been able to do that in my Mando, but see, like, I couldn't access any pockets really, except for the ones on my leg,
the flight suit and stuff.
Yeah, like I had one on my left arm that I could keep my phone in, but I had to use my phone at one point, and I took it out and it was soaking wet.
Oh,
like,
geez.
oh my gosh, really?
I'd be kind of concerned about it at that point.
Yeah, well, it was fine. It was
okay.
fine. It was just really, really, I was sweating like a pig. And another one was I had a pocket on my right leg that I could keep my wallet, and I kept my DS my Nintendo DS in there.
Oh no! Oh, for the street passes.
For the street
Nice.
passes, yeah, I got over 500 street passes that day.
Oh wow! Complete them puzzles.
No, it wasn't 500. It was like 103, I think. But
Still,
whatever.
complete them puzzles.
Yeah. But yeah, and also the tower thing, whatever.
So yeah, basically, unless you have a very nice like cloth cosplay that's not going to get you hot, you have many pockets, have a friend / handler there to help you out.
Yeah.
Some strangers are nice, some strangers not so much.
Some strangers will just take everything you have and run off with it,
And then kick you
especially
when
if
you're
you're in
down.
Memphis. You know.
So yeah, unless you're Pockets McGee, make sure you have somebody that has a bag.
Yeah. Pockets
So-
McGee.
Yeah, Pockets McGee.
Pockets McGee. Okay.
He has all the pockets you'll ever need.
All right.
So that's pretty much what I have for costume survival. I mean, have a
yeah,
repair
pretty much
kit,
covered
have
it,
some
yeah.
fans, have water and a friend. Do you have anything to add to that, Sean?
You pretty much covered everything that I was going to say, really.
That's good.
So, like, the fans and the water was going to be the two. They were going to be the two.
Yeah, water's
important things,
extreme.
yeah.
Oh, make sure you have a way to sit. That's the last thing.
Yeah, that's it. That's quite important. I lacked that ability.
I lied. That's not the last thing. We'll get to the last thing in a minute. But if you can make your costume so you can sit, it's going to be the best thing on earth. Even if you
Yeah.
have to sit awkwardly, it's way better than not sitting.
Yeah. I
Because-
wish I was able to sit in a non-awkward position whenever
With
I
my
had Mando.
ODST suit, I would have to like hold the back of the chair and then angle myself at this like 45-degree angle and then lift my butt plate up because it was attached to my belt and then sit. So I was able to sit, but it was weird, but it was comfortable.
Yeah.
And my rec suit, I basically had to have my friend hold the chair, and then I do like this weird diagonal slide onto it as my chest and cod armor slid up to my stomach, so I was like turtling because it was all one piece. And that's the next thing I want to get to, is never make one-piece costumes.
Well, going back to the sitting thing, I'm just going to go ahead and ruin the illusion of my Mando costume here for a minute.
Okay.
For anybody who's seen it, originally what I was going to do was I had a plate carrier as my girth belt. And I thought, well, that looked cool. I thought it looked cool.
It did look cool.
I ended up not using it because I was unable to sit without it, like, going
Yeah,
digging underneath my rib cage
That
and
thing
into
was
my lungs.
solid.
That thing, yeah, it's designed to hold armored plates. So it's got a really thick piece of plastic underneath that. So it doesn't move at all. So I said, okay, well, I'm just going to get rid of this. And I just went with a ammo pouch or ammo belt in place of that. And it worked okay. I mean, you see the zippers and wear the vest and stuff.
But it looked
in
good, though. I see
it
the
looked
pictures.
good. It looked good, yeah. But I still couldn't sit comfortably. And this is the part where I ruined the illusion.
Uh-oh.
I ordered my jumpsuit a size too small.
Oh, jeez.
So I couldn't sit down comfortably without the risk of me ripping either the back or the pants.
Front.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
jeez.
yeah. So,
So that's another tip.
Yeah.
Make sure everything fits.
yeah.
But yeah, if you can make a costume that you can either sit in or is very easily removed and re-added, that's the best thing on earth. So what I was going to say next was don't make elaborate one-piece costumes, because granted they usually look better, but there's two things you can't do. One, you can't sit, which is very important if you're going to be there for hours or the entire day for multiple days. The second thing is you can't go to the bathroom in a one piece.
See,
Keep that
was
in
one-
mind.
Yeah, that was one thing I was really concerned about when I was going in my Mando. I'm like, how am I going to go to the bathroom? And it's like, well, turns out I didn't have to, but
Well, it's
it's
one of those things where if you drink just enough and you're sweating like that, you're fine as long as you don't really eat.
Right.
But if you're drinking a lot or you're eating a lot, don't have a one-piece costume.
Yeah, make sure that you're able to like get out of it, because I've actually run into that problem twice.
And if you can't get out of it, make sure your friend can disassemble you, and make sure you're wearing appropriate undersuit.
Yeah.
So that way you can walk your way into the bathroom or the stall or whatever it is you need to do.
Yeah.
And
don't
get things taken care of.
Don't wear a spandex suit for your thing, because that will be a pain in the butt to take off to use the bathroom.
Yeah, I believe it.
I did that when I was here comes a touchy subject as of late. Anonymous from 4chan was one of my first cosplays ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
Cool.
Anonymous from 4chan and Tumblr from Tumblr. Anyways, it was I was in a little group cosplay, and yeah, it's not a very easy thing to get out of to relieve yourself. So, unless you have like front zippers, but
Right, which
mine doesn't have that, unfortunately.
most commercial ones don't. But if you go onto the actual websites that sell them and do a little digging, you can usually find some at a higher price.
You can customize them. Usually, it's like $5 to get a zipper
Yeah.
put on.
Which, it's worth it if you're going to end up getting one of those.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, I figure we talked about cons last week, so this week we, talk about some costume survival for the cons.
yeah,
Because guess what? Con season's right around the corner.
mine just ended though.
Sean, con season never ends. It's the season that never ends.
Bum 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 bum.
It goes on and on, my friends.
Bum bum bada bum.
And our next topic is, okay, you need a costume, right?
Yeah.
So, let's say you don't have time, or you don't think you have the skill, even though you do, to make one.
Okay.
What do you do then, Sean? Then what?
Well, there's no harm in asking for help or buying a few things. I don't think so, anyways.
And that's what leads us into our next topic, is buyer's etiquette, because that seems to be a real problem that's rising throughout a lot of the different forums and communities, I've noticed.
How so?
Well, let's say somebody is selling, let's say I'm going to do a helmet run or something, okay?
Okay.
And I'll be like, hey, I'm selling these helmets. It's going to be about a 3-week period before I can get them out to you, because of, one, shipping time, usually a week and a half if you're in country. On top of that is the time to actually cast them, and then any extra time for in case something comes up. So, okay, reasonable. I clearly stated in my post it'll take about 3 weeks to get to you after full payment. So, one of the problems that's occurring is the buyers who don't really
read the posts.
Don't read the posts or don't understand how to interact, let's say.
Okay.
Because I know when I bought some Mando armor before I had to sell it off.
Which I wish you would have kept.
Yeah,
I would have bought it.
I'm probably going to get more, to be honest, because I still want to do a Mando.
Just make some. It's really easy.
But, so I bought some armor, and I was like, hey, it's this much for this package deal, right? And he's like, yeah, no problem, that much. Go ahead and send it. Okay, I sent it. I was like, okay. He was like, okay, I'll have it out to you in a couple of weeks or whatever. And I was like, okay, fine, no big deal. I'm in no rush. I understand it's going to take you time, because it's made to order, or order to be made, or something like that.
It's made to order. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So I was like, okay, no big deal. I understand you have actual life, and then you have your prop and costuming life. So I was like, okay. So, like, the couple weeks went by. I didn't really hear anything from him about it being shipped out or whatever. So I was like, hey, I was just wondering if you shipped out the items yet. And he was like, sorry about that. I've been trying to get to it. This came up with my family. And I was like, oh, hey, I totally understand. Family things came up. Life stuff's more important than our little hobby. That's where a lot of people don't like or understand or get really touchy about, is a lot of buyers are like, I demand you get me this stuff now because that's what you said the first time. And it's like, chill out, bro. Life things happen, okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I kind of understand where some people come from, where like, well, they get really upset because if you pay for it up front, you know, it's like, well, you kind of get suspicious that they're just stealing your money at some point, because that has happened.
Granted, it has, but it's one of those things where it's like, as a buyer and as a seller, you need to just stay in communication with each other.
Yeah, communication is the key.
Solve the best thing.
Absolutely, communication is key.
If he messages you and says, "Hey, something can't get up, something's come up, it's going to take X amount of extra time," then just relax, let it happen. You're still going to get your thing, but life comes up for these people, and you don't want to be that guy who makes things even worse.
Right.
/ causes a scene.
Right.
Because I've been on both ends as a buyer and a seller. Whereas, like, hey, I've sold things, and people are like, hey, here's a down payment. Can you hold this for me for X amount of time? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And when that time comes, I'll send them a message and be like, hey, are you still interested or not? And it's either a yes or a no big deal. Relist it if I have to. Or it's, hey, something came up. I'm not able to ship out your item right away. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Just, let me know. Keep me updated. As long as I'm updated, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's one thing that happened to me when I was buying my backplate and gauntlets for my Mando, is the lack of communication from the guy I was buying it from. It kind of worried me for a minute, but I knew the guy was reputable, so it was like, I'm not going to worry too much, but there's always something in the back of my head, like, what if he stole my money?
Right, and that's the best thing to do, too, is go with reputable people who have done a lot of work for other people.
Right.
Because then, if something happens, there's a lot of people that can get a hold of them.
Right.
And the other thing that I was going to mention was, don't buy on a deadline. Okay? Because things come up. Don't be like, hey, I have a con in exactly 3 weeks to a month. I need this as quick as possible. Because if something happens, both sides are going to lose, the buyer and the seller.
Right. Which, I actually dealt with that a few weeks ago. I did exactly what you said not to do. I ended up getting my item the day before the con.
So you still had a good case scenario, though.
Yeah, I had a good case scenario. I mean, I made sure that I had enough time, but it was like, oh, that's cutting it a little close. So. Yeah.
Because I kind of did the same thing, but for Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament, I was going to regionals. So I traded with this dude like a month ahead of time. And it took forever for me to get the stuff from him for some reason. I don't know why. But so I was like, it was like a week before, and I was like, hey, I don't have the stuff yet. Did you send it out? And he was like, oh yeah, let me do that. I forgot. And I was like, oh geez, this isn't going to get to me in time. Day before, doesn't show up. So I'm like, okay, I guess I got to go without it. And then, so I get back from the tournament. Guess what's waiting for me in the mailbox?
Oh my gosh, really?
The card I needed to get my Nationals invite.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
well.
pretty salty about that, but nothing I could do about it. So I was just like, oh, I'll just go again later in the year or next year and try to get my invite, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know.
It was still a fun experience because I've never been to a huge card tournament like that before.
I've never been to a card tournament. So.
I thought it was fun. Not even like locals or anything like that?
No, I've actually never done anything like that. I mean, the closest that I've gone to anything where it's like a huge number of people competing to eat with each other is regional science fair.
Ah. But yeah,
So-
because like local card shops usually have tournaments that are like $5 entry and it's like 20 to 30 people show up or something.
Yeah, I've never done anything like
If
that before.
if you are going to, I would recommend Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon,
Because-
I can play that game.
Magic has a learning curve to start with, but then once you get that, you're fine. But it's basically money wins in Magic.
Yeah.
In Yu-Gi-Oh, it's basically look how super complicated this is. You don't get a turn, money wins the match.
Right.
Usually.
Yeah.
Pokemon, everything's cheap, accessible, and
It's easy.
Skill wins in Pokemon.
Yeah.
Skill and luck.
It's quite easy.
Yeah.
So.
Like earlier in the year, I got into Pokemon, and I love it. It's the best thing to play.
See, I used to play Pokemon, but it's not something that I've really gotten into until recently.
Right.
So.
So yeah, always buy ahead of time. That's the moral.
That's
of that
the
long
moral of the
story.
story. So.
Yeah, we're using a lot of morals today. We're good
Yeah,
people.
that is, yeah.
So
Do we have like a little wheel of morality or something that we can
we should we're +2 for the week.
play? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if we get +8, we get a bonus.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? We
Yeah.
get them buffs.
Woo.
So, the next thing we're going to talk about with you guys, because we've covered conventions, we've covered costume survival kits, we've covered buyer slash seller
Etiquette.
etiquette. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, up next, what we're going to talk about is preparation to go to the convention, because there's a lot more you need to prepare for than you think.
Absolutely.
So, probably one of the first things you're going to end up doing is
Take a shower.
finalizing your costume
Oh,
the night before.
Oh, okay.
So, you're going to get your costume finalized, you're going to get it packed away. Hopefully you don't have a case where it's like literally hours before and then you have to apply spray paint to it and then it gets all tacky at the convention and you're sticking to things. That happened to me.
Which
With
costume?
with my Captain Rex suit.
Rex. Ah.
Yep. Bicep pieces.
Please tell me you didn't spray paint white and then you had to do that.
Yep.
It was, oh no.
But luckily, all it did was get a very little bit on the undersuit, which was no big deal. Like, because
I
it
was
had
more
time.
concerned about like dust settling on it and it like
No,
having little
it
blue
was-
bits on it.
It was just tack because we placed it under the heater because
Ah.
it was in November, so we had the heat on anyways.
Ah.
So we tried to get that working. It just kind of stuck to other pieces and ripped some paint off, which was kind of cool actually because the foam and plastic dip are black underneath, so it made it look battle damaged.
Okay.
So that was cool. But prepare your costume ahead of time.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Sean said, take a shower, wear deodorant, probably bring some with you just in case.
Yeah. Drink that orange juice.
Make sure you bring the repair kit, like Sean just mentioned a second ago. Drink some orange juice and bring vitamin C pills with you, or
Yes.
chewables, or tablets, or whatever you want to
The
call them.
the airborne tablets that you put in water, amazing.
Oh,
Get
really?
some-
I've never tried those before.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's basically just supercharges you with vitamin C.
Okay, I always had the chewable vitamin Cs.
Yeah, get the airborne. It tastes great too. It tastes like kind of like it's a fizzy. I don't want to say Sunny D almost. It's like
But,
a fizzy Sunny D. It's really good.
But yeah, basically, if you don't know, vitamin C boosts your immune system.
Yeah,
Because you're
And
going to
you
be
will
interacting with a ton of people.
yeah. Especially like if that one random guy from Ukraine wants to try on your helmet and you let him, and then the next day you get really sick. Yeah,
That probably made his day, though. Like, that was
it
probably
did.
the
It
best
made
thing.
his day. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. He's like, I am from another planet. Like, you're cool. And the person, his friends, I'm so sorry. He just has to find everything and put it on. It's fine. So,
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Be polite at the cons.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you'll never know who you're going to run into. You might run into some random guy from Ukraine who's like, "We have nothing like this in our country." And it's like, "Where are you from?" It's Ukraine. And it's like, "Oh, here, Ukraine."
Or
oh,
it's
well, that's
Stotska.
pretty cool. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. You're from Ukraine. He's like, no, it's not. It sucks. So I was like, okay. Well, all right.
Oh, I almost had a spit take there. I was actually drinking some tea when you said that. But yeah, it was like, if you let somebody see something, just keep an eye on them, but don't be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, at least he came up and asked me. It was like, well,
Yeah.
how much your costume cost? And it's like, well, I told him how much. And I'm like, wow, that's actually not bad if you think about it. And like, hey, can I try on the helmet? And well, probably I've been sweating in it all day, so it probably smells like. Oh, I don't care. And put it on. I am from another planet. It's like, I made your day. So
That's pretty amazing.
yeah.
But yeah, so drink orange juice, or like we said, the tablets, pills, whatever you want to call those. Be polite. Bring, if you, like I said, if you have the friend who's bringing a bag anyways, pack a lunch. Pack some lunch and water.
Convention center food is expensive.
It is.
And
it's basically cafeteria food, so it's not bad.
It's like
but
a
it's not
sandwich,
the best.
really. Like,
Yeah.
like the first 3 years that I went to Anime Blues, it was a sandwich. They had like the people out giving you a sandwich. Now, granted, they were good sandwiches, but it was still a sandwich.
Okay, because at the Wizard World OhioCon in Columbus, they actually had like a. It might have been because the convention center already had it, but they had like a little. I don't want to say a food court because it was like
Concession
two or
stand?
three vendors and then like a pizza place.
Yeah,
So that was kind of cool.
it was
But
concessions basically.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
expensive.
that's how or what we did for this year Anime Blues. They did like a concession stand almost. So they had hamburgers, they had hot dogs, sandwiches, and they had really
so-
good looking sandwiches. I didn't get one.
If you want to get the really cool painting from Artist Alley or that really cool action figure from a vendor, pack a lunch.
Yeah, definitely.
And some, like I said, water is going to be key to your survival.
Don't drink Coke or anything like that.
Dehydrates you.
You will get dehydrated quickly.
Yeah.
Even if you think, oh well, I'll just drink Gatorade. Don't do it.
Dehydrates
It's bad
you.
for you.
It gives
Yeah.
you some energy for a bit, but it dehydrates you more than anything else. Same with tea. Don't drink any tea because it dehydrates you.
Right.
Like, I love drinking tea, but cons or tournaments, strictly water.
Absolutely. Unless the water in your area is just garbage, then
Then buy bottled water.
Bottled water, yeah.
Or
don't-
bring your own
yeah,
water.
You bring your own water. And if
Another
you're able
good-
to, Camelback. If you're able to do it,
Yeah.
put a Camelback
'cause
in your
Some
costume.
costumes have the room for that, and it's
Yeah.
a glorious thing.
Which I kind of wish I had thought about that for my Mando, but it probably wouldn't have fit.
I thought about it for Rex. I just didn't have the spare money to do it
Right.
because it would have been amazing.
Yeah. Probably could have gotten away with it with your ODST.
Again, yeah, but I didn't think of it then.
Because you
I
can
thought-
get military ones and have them in black.
Yeah.
So- and it would look good with the plate carrier that you got.
Yeah, and then the next thing, this is kind of a tip for a couple days ahead of time or the night before if you're a procrastinator. But go on Google Maps or MapQuest or something, scope out the area around the convention center. Why? 2 reasons. Parking, because you're either going to have to pay for parking or get there super early. 2, restaurants. Because
Yes.
if you're going to spend money to eat right, and by that I mean quality food at a restaurant. Because when I go, every year I do this. I go to, the past 2 years I've gone to the Wizard World, Ohio. There's nothing in Columbus around the convention center. There's a lot of shops and a lot of, hey, look at this little dessert/bar. So finding actual food, it's terrible, especially because it's right next to campus. It's about a half hour away from the OSU campus. So it's all quick, fast stuff, and it's no, I want to sit down and relax.
So there's
and
not
have-
even a Subway or Quiznos or anything?
there might be, but again, that's a quickie thing. I don't
Not
want
really. I mean, Subway and Quiznos, that's pretty good.
but
so-
luckily I found this really good pizza place. Oh my
that's good.
god, was it good!
Oh, that's good.
So if you can check out the area ahead of time on Google Maps, or if you get there early, walk around, see what you can find, drive around if it's nighttime or not safe.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually what we did the day before Anime Blues. I had never been to this area where the con was at this year. So I've only been downtown maybe 4 or 5 times in my entire life. So what we did is we went and I went with my dad to see what the best way to get downtown was. It took about 30 minutes to get down there.
That's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad. Really, it's not bad. It's actually quicker to get downtown than it was, or to this location than it was to get to the old location of Anime Blues.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it was quicker by like 10 minutes or something like that. So maybe 5 minutes. I don't remember. Anyways, what we did, we went around, scoped the area, like figured out how to get there, and found out where the parking garage was, which I'm glad we did that. Even though we did that, we actually missed it the first day, so we had to loop around.
But still, it's like, okay, I know generally where it's at.
Right, so it's like, this one, it just creeps right up on you. So, I mean, you have to be like, whoa, there it is. So it's like...
Yeah, it's because for me, it's like, I knew where I wanted to park from last year, but it was like down a side street, so I was like, okay, which one is it? And Columbus is one of those terrible areas where it's like one way only, and I'm like, oh, I gotta do a huge loop. And
Right.
luckily I knew the general area from last year, because I remember things, I don't remember names.
Right.
So it's like, oh, I recognize this.
Yeah, it's very important to figure out where you're going to be going and just plan ahead, basically. It's
And-
yeah.
The next thing is probably like one of the best things I could probably tell you. And you have to do this like a month ahead of time. Have a budget, only carry cash. Because now some of you are going to be like, whoa, why only carry cash? Why can't I bring my card? What if I get mugged? Well, if you get mugged, you're going to lose your card anyways. Second is, if you carry cash, you're not going to overspend.
See, I didn't think... well, I kind of thought of that, but it's like...
Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to find this super awesome $300 action figure that you really, really, really want. And it's like, oh, I don't have enough money. But I have my credit card and it could be future me's problem. Or you can carry cash and be like, oh, I still need to eat and get home. Can't buy the figure.
Yeah. See, that's what I did. As I set out, like, okay, I got $100 in cash. That's all I'm going to carry with me. And I actually kept that cash for 3 days. So.
See, that's not bad, because a little tip, which is risky, is wait till Sunday to buy, or the last day if it's not a 3-day con like that.
Right.
Because vendors usually want to just offload for slightly cheaper, but you run the risk of it not being in stock by that point.
Right. See, because that actually happened with me. I was going to buy a sword, the one that the main character from Sword Art Online uses, and it was $80 up front, or the first 2 days, and I was like, okay, I'm going to wait until Sunday and get this. Sunday came around, nothing. They didn't have it. They only had the Attack on Titan swords. And I'm like,
yeah, so it's always a gamble with that. If you want it bad enough, get it. If it's like, oh, it'd be nice to have this, but I don't necessarily need it, wait till the last day.
Right, because, I mean, if it's anything like what some of the vendors at Anime Blues do, they just take off sales tax.
Yeah, which is still an amazing deal.
Yeah, it's great. It's like, oh my gosh, yes. So,
yeah,
especially if you're in Memphis or something like that, sales tax is just ridiculously stupid. So.
Yeah, because, yeah, it's bad. So if you're willing to, wait, but remember, it might not be in stock.
Right.
Because it's not like a store where it's like, oh yeah, we'll have some more of it in a couple days. It's like, this is your chance to get it. Now or never.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else for con preparations you can think of?
I think we're good on con preparations. I actually was going to ask you a question, but I think I'm going to save it until we get ready to end the show.
Gonna get interesting.
Yes.
Secret question.
Not really a secret question because, I mean, well, it's going to come up at the end of the show, but, you know.
Right. So, there was something we mentioned at the beginning of the show. I don't remember what that was.
Neither do I.
So,
Next
I think
segment.
we covered it already, though. Oh, we did. It was the buyer's etiquette.
Yeah, okay.
There we go. So, the next thing up is we've covered buying. We've covered costume survival. We've covered preparing for the con. So what's next? What's next, Sean? What do you even have a guess? What could be next?
I don't think I know what's next. What is next, Adam?
Post-con depression.
Oh.
So, for those of you who haven't experienced this, it is one of the worst things on earth.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because here's what happens. You're excited, gonna go to the con, yeah. Sad, no, I'm not prepared to go to the con. oh no, my costume's not finished. Hey, I'm at the con. Everything's great. And then
You don't know what to do with the rest of your life after it's over.
you have a couple days of greatness and, oh, this is so much fun. Look at all these cool things I bought. Look at my credit card bill because I didn't listen to the tip about bringing cash. Oh, look at all the cool pictures I have. Then you get home.
Yeah. Then you just don't know what to do with the rest of your life.
And then all that happiness is gone.
Yeah. Welcome back to the real world, everybody.
Yeah, get ready to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, yeah, you're sick, too, because you didn't take vitamin C.
Oh, yeah. You did. That was another one you ignored.
Yeah. So, post-con depression, it lasts
It's
like
a thing.
a
Yeah.
couple weeks to a month.
Yeah.
And then either you go to another con or you kind of move on with your life.
Yeah.
One of the two usually happens.
I've had post-con depression pretty bad. I think last year's post-con depression was the worst for me. But this year's wasn't too terribly bad, actually, which is
Yeah.
really strange because...
It might have been because you were also within driving distance.
Well, we've always been within driving distance.
Oh, I
but-
thought you stayed up at the hotels last year.
No, we didn't stay at the hotels.
Oh, okay.
It was too expensive.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah, that's
that-
another thing is price of hotels. Is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
always also pre-register when you can. You can get in super cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Al-
'cause-
always pre-register for a con, especially if you know you're going for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
like,
door prices are higher,
yeah,
and there's not a guarantee you'll be able to get in because
yeah,
of
like door prices for Anime Blues, I think was $45 at the door for 3-day passes. I
Yeah.
bought my 3-day pass for $25.
yeah. That's
So.
and like I said, when you're budgeting, that's amazing.
Yeah, and if you can stay at the hotel, make sure that they have a special con rate. Because
Or
that's-
ask. Make sure to ask.
Like make sure that they have, because usually if they have your con has a website, they'll post that on there.
Yeah,
So-
because when they know a ton of people are going to come, they're willing to do a little price cut
They
because they know
section
they're
out
going to
the
get the
entire
business.
block of the
Yeah.
hotel. Say, okay, this is how many rooms we're going to give you for this special price, and just make sure the attendees know that that's where this is, and make sure. So
But yeah, back to con depression. It's really
Yeah.
sad because you miss all your friends, you miss the attention, you miss the costume, you miss the terrible food or really good food if you found a nice restaurant.
right now, I don't
then
think
you
you've had it quite as bad as me though, because
No, I
only-
haven't.
you've only gone to 1-day events. Haven't
True,
you?
yeah.
You've only gone 1 day, even if it's a 3-day event. You've only gone 1 day
Because
I
of
go
price, yeah.
all 3 days, and it's just when it hits you, it really hits you.
Oh, I
So,
believe it.
Yeah.
Because, for me, it was more exhaustion than con depression because it was drive 3 hours to Columbus, stay there for 8 hours or 6 hours or whatever it was, and drive 3 hours home. So, that was terrible.
Yeah.
I've done that for 2 years now. It's terrible. It's
Yeah,
fun,
you
but
should
terrible.
just see if you can find a hotel or something. Go for the 3 days.
That, again, it's something I really want to do.
Or stay
but
with
it's
a
the matter
friend.
of it's right, but it's the matter of having the money at the time.
Right.
Because I had to buy a new laptop and minimum wage job. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, if you have a friend who's staying at the hotel, see if you can room with them and
Yeah.
split the bill. That way, it's cheap.
Or if you have a group of friends going, just be like, "Hey, floors
Yes.
are cool."
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I've actually stayed in a hotel where I've slept in the bathtub.
That's daring.
Marching band competitions.
Oh, nice.
So, and there have been people sleep in the bathtubs and sleep in the windows.
Windows might actually be comfortable.
They are surprisingly comfortable, but
I slept one time when I was on vacation with my family. It was way too hot because my parents wouldn't run the AC at night because it woke them up. Psh. So we had a desk and chair in the room, so I just kind of went on the desk.
yeah. See,
It was
I've
comfy.
actually done something like that too, where I just put 2 chairs together because
Yeah.
it was
The chairs
same
are
thing.
sometimes comfier than the beds.
Yeah, it was the same thing. We didn't have enough room in the. I went to the beach one year and we had a hotel, and anyways, there were 2 beds and 5 people. So I was the odd one out, basically.
Yeah.
So I just put 2 chairs together, like a office chair or just like the nice relaxing chair, and then a desk chair together, and slept on that. Worst
I've
night's
actually-
sleep I've ever gotten.
I've done that too, and I got a better night's sleep doing that than in the bed.
See, I prefer to sleep on a couch than I do to sleep in a chair.
Couches are comfy.
Yeah, especially if you
But
ever
we're getting way off topic
yeah.
now.
Anyways, yeah, sleep in a bathtub if you need to.
So I think that's all the con prep tips / after con we have.
Yeah, I think so.
Because there's nothing else I can think of off the top of my head. That's everything I had planned to talk about.
Yeah.
Are you ready for your super secret question before we wrap things up then?
It's really not so much of a super secret question. It's just a question I wanted to end with. Are you working on any costumes? Any new costumes?
If you listened to the last week's episode and the weeks before that, yes. But I can
forgot.
no longer discuss them.
I forgot.
Because the person who I'm making it for me, it's going to be my costume, but I'm surprising them with it.
Gotcha.
They were a guest last week, and now I can't talk about it anymore.
You've given too much information. Let's just cut that part out.
Because it's going to be, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's going well. I can kind of discuss it vaguely.
Yeah.
Most of the helmet's almost done. And I started the torso section.
Interesting.
So I have 3 pieces for the torso section. So it kind of looks like a table.
Okay.
And the helmet's almost done. I'm just running into some planning issues where I'm like, okay, how do I want to cut the angle on these to get these to work? How do these pieces go together? Because the file I'm basing it off of, it's good, but it's not the best because they have parts extended out too far so that other pieces can sit on top of them.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, I need to figure out how to cut this template so I don't have to waste foam.
Gotcha.
So right now I'm kind of at a standstill of a planning process, and with it's finals week for my summer classes. So between paying attention to those and working, I haven't had time to really work on it very much.
This, right.
But
Yeah, been there, done
by
that.
the time this podcast comes out, the Wednesday before this podcast comes out, there'll be the first part of the Raw to Ready video on the United Prop Builders channel.
Sweet.
So yeah, that'll be you have that to look forward to.
That's pretty cool.
Or look back on.
Yeah, that's
by
cool.
the time this is posted.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for it. I'm just hoping that my dreams don't get crushed, because right now it's at the stage where it's like, oh, I'm sure the helmet fits, and I wonder if it's gonna fit.
See, that's why you just do multiple test fittings before you do stuff, because that's what I had to do with my last costume. It's just
Right, but it's just hard to do that with foam without either taping the templates together and then risk ruining the templates, or building the helmet.
right.
Because of this one, it's not like because you know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And past listeners know what I'm doing. So it's not really a standard helmet. It's shaped kind of differently. So I'm kind of basing it off of dimensions of regular helmets. But then after making the first part of it, I had to decrease by 20% in Pepakura. And this one looks like it's going to fit, but I'm worried it's going to be done. It's be like just ever too small. And I'm going to be like, oh. And then I probably won't do the costume because I'll get depressed.
Don't give up. It's going to be cool when it's finished. It really will be cool.
This is probably what's going to happen. Build the helmet. Oh, build the rest of it. Oh, I got to do the helmet again.
Well, just,
Because I'm not going to go from failure helmet right into another helmet, because it's going to be like, I just did this.
Yeah. Well, foam's cheap, so if you mess up, just do it again.
Yes and no. It's
Depending
cheap
on
if
where
you have
you
a
get it.
Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's not cheap.
Well,
So yeah.
relatively speaking.
It's cheaper
Yeah.
than going out and getting fiberglass and Bondo.
That is true. But
You know.
when you're like me and don't have a lot of money, it's not cheap. And I
Yeah,
don't have a
true.
Harbor Freight. So I'm
True.
paying $20 a pack.
You should, get somebody to say, hey, you need to open up a Harbor Freight. I'll work here. If you
Yeah.
should, pay me in foam,
See, I'm hoping when I go down to college, they have one down there, and I can just buy it all and then bring it back up here.
They should. I mean, I don't understand why they wouldn't, tell you the
Yeah.
truth.
So, I think that's going to wrap up our show for today.
Well, you didn't ask me the same question. I was kind of hoping you'd ask me the same question.
Oh, what are you working on, Sean?
I've actually started on,
What?
yeah,
What?
I've already started on costumes for next Anime Blues Con.
Which is good, because you need to start a year ahead
Yeah,
of
start
time.
early, because it took me up until the day before Anime Blues to finish my
Last
anime.
minute pro tip, start
Yeah,
early.
Start early.
I'm actually working on 2. Helping my sister with hers.
Do you want to discuss them, or do you want to?
Yeah,
keep them a
I can
secret?
discuss them.
Okay.
I am helping my sister right now. I'm helping her work on a Minecraft costume. Now, before you go, Minecraft. Well, why Minecraft?
Like an
That sounds
Enderman,
simple.
or a Pigoo,
No,
or a mushroom.
it's not any of the mobs or anything like that in Minecraft, or it's not even
Is it
really
the
a player.
tree?
It's not even really anything like that.
It's a tree, isn't it?
It's totally a tree.
I knew it. Or is it a dirt hut?
It's
I want to see somebody cosplay as a dirt hut.
It's the kung fu plant painting, is what it is.
I want to see somebody cosplay as dirt hut and tree now.
I want to see somebody cosplay as the painting of the woman holding the pig.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But anyways, it's actually
A custom version of what Gavin Free from Achievement Hunter would look like in Minecraft.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's basically like, imagine that he's a hunter with a bow and arrow and everything like that, because he Mark Nut.
So it's like fantasy adventure Gavin.
Exactly, it's fantasy adventure
Okay.
Gavin, and I'm going to be working on fantasy adventure Ray.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So we're gonna have X-Ray and Vav, and we're also gonna have in our group Mogar. So we're gonna be
really?
we're all gonna be team lads.
See, if I was able to come down there, I would totally do fantasy adventure Ryan.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So-
I'd be the only gent, though.
You'd be the only gent, unless we got somebody to be Jack and Jeff. But
No, if I'm able to go, you need Alex and somebody else.
we need
would
Alex
need.
and people.
I don't know any of your other friends.
Let's see here. Yeah, we need somebody. We need 2 people for Jack and Jeff.
Ryan, go to Memphis.
Yeah. So.
But that's cool.
Yeah, so it is going to be really cool. I haven't actually started on mine. I'm in the planning stages for mine right now, but
Right.
I've been helping my sister make a custom bow out of foam right now, and she actually
that's cool.
has what it is. It's a hooded scarf that she's made so far. The very first time that she's ever used a sewing machine in her life, and she made a hooded scarf with a creeper face on it. And what it's supposed to be is like the skin of a creeper, like you wear
that's
that,
cool.
like the hide of a creeper. So
Yeah.
it's really cool. So I'm really excited to see how hers turns out, and then we're gonna get started on mine. So
Yeah, I'm excited to see how my Team Magma is going to turn out.
Oh, yeah, I saw Team Magma at Anime Blues.
Oh, that's cool.
so it was really cool. So I kind of know what it looks like now.
Right.
So
But yeah, because for that one, it's one of those where it's like my friend can sew way better than me, so I'm kind of having her do the sewing for the like the hood part, like the upper portion part,
right.
and I'm gonna be doing the sewing for the armbands and the leggings, only because I don't want that messed up. And the last time I used a sewing machine, I kind of messed something up.
Well, it's just something you got to work at. See, I've
Right.
only
So that's
used
why I'm gonna start with
yeah.
the lesser things and have her do the advanced thing
yeah.
for it. Because
See-
I have to sew a hood and horns on. It's like, oh, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, it's actually pretty easy. It's just basically
You're like tracing an outline of something, basically.
Right,
Just,
but she can do
tracing.
it better, and that's the part I really want to look good, because
Yeah.
that's the main piece.
Right.
I think
Basically, really what you need to do is just practice on a few things. Because, I mean, I've actually never touched a sewing machine, but
Yeah.
I've seen so many people do it around me my entire life that I can just pick it up. You know?
Yeah.
So,
But anyways,
So
I think that wraps it
until
up.
next time, where can people find you at, Sean, if they wish to get in contact?
Well, you can find me at SeanandNinja951 on Twitter and Coffee Powered Media on YouTube. And where can people find you, Adam?
People can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/UnitedPropBuilders, the Facebook group United Prop Builders. They can find me at Twitter at PropBuilds. They can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/UnitedPropBuilders. I do not advise sending me messages on YouTube because they have yet to fix their messaging system. And I just randomly checked it the other day, and I had like 5 messages from the past 3 months that I never responded to, and I felt really bad because I wasn't notified.
ew.
Yep.
Yeah. Do it through Google Plus. Google Plus, it works. You get the
Yeah.
notification like right there.
Which is like googleplus.com/UnitedPropBuilders
Yeah.
or something like that.
So.
Or email me at UnitedPropBuilders@gmail.
So, until next time, good night, shop rats. Good night.